The Prime Minister is moving forward on climate change, but the timetable remains the same. Julia Gillard is sticking to Kevin Rudd's plan to wait until 2012 before considering reviving an emissions trading scheme. She'd use the time to consult a citizens' assembly about the national mood on climate change. But Tony Abbott and the Greens say the appropriate assembly is the Parliament. From Canberra, Nick Harmson reports.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Fossil fuels have got to go!
It wasn't the climate change she expected, a heated interjection in the Prime Minister's carefully controlled campaign.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Fossil fuels have got to go!
When talk failed, one protester elected to take real action.
Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, hey!
He was seized upon, handcuffed and dragged out of the building.
Why am I the criminal? They're the ones destroying the planet.
Inside, Julia Gillard remained cool as she outlined her plan to arrest emissions.
I will act when the Australian economy is ready and when the Australian people are ready.
That means no carbon price until 2013 at the earliest.
Right, there we are. I've got that whole science demeanour.
In the meantime, the science would be considered by a new Climate Change Commission, which would be charged with monitoring international developments. A citizens' assembly of 150 people would try to forge consensus on a market-based solution.
We already have a citizens' assembly. It's called a parliament. This is a decision for the Parliament, and she can't subcontract out leadership to some kind of giant focus group.
An argument once put by Julia Gillard herself.
We can't afford any more inquiries, reports or investigations into climate change.
Her new policy will also offer $1 billion over 10 years to connect renewable energy to the grid, tougher standards on coal-fired power stations, and there'd be no disadvantage for companies who take early action to cut emissions.
I want to act in step with the world and when we have a deep and lasting community consensus.
But some say it's out of step with the Prime Minister's campaign slogan.
Julia Gillard, moving backwards, climate action now.
What we've seen is a failure of leadership, a complete cop-out, a reiteration of Labor's old, failed strategy.
Tony Abbott thinks it's all camouflage for a carbon tax.
So what do we think's inside this container?
He spent the day in Perth promising $93 million for security screening at airports and ports.
This is a further demonstration of the Coalition's border security credentials.
The Liberals argue Kevin Rudd has a problem with his security credentials. Tony Abbott says the former Prime Minister is not fit to serve in Cabinet after the ABC revealed his Chief of Staff occasionally deputised for him at important national security meetings. Mr Rudd has responded to the claims through a spokesman, saying he attended all critical meetings of the National Security Committee.
I worked alongside Kevin Rudd as Prime Minister. And as Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd was deeply concerned about the security of the Australian people and deeply concerned about our national security.
These issues of whether Kevin sent a bloody staffer or didn't attend these things, I think that's in the past. I don't think it's got anything to do with the future.
I was a bit of a naughty boy. You were a bit of a naughty boy.
He may be a blast from the past.
Welsh women are very, very important at the moment in Australia.
But Bob Hawke is one former leader Julia Gillard is happy to have in the campaign spotlight. Nick Harmson, Late Line.